So applying for a US tourist visa can feel like preparing for a big exam. The question, the pressure, and the fear of making a mistakes can be overwhelming. At the center of it all is one critical document, that is the DS-160 form. So fill it correctly and you are already halfway to success. So fill it carelessly and you may face delays or even rejection. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through the DS-160 form filling for a tourist visa, step by step in plain English, just like a friend explaining it to you over a coffee. So make sure to watch this video to the end as I walk you through all the nitty-gritties, all the information that you are supposed to know with regards to the DS-160 form filling for a tourist visa. So stay tuned, I'll be back shortly. Alright, welcome back guys. The channel is adeja.com. Over here what we do is we give you detailed information regarding the travel and tour industry. So if you want to learn about how to go about your passport applications, visa applications to your destination countries, whether for studies, tourism, business, and so on and so forth, this is the right platform to subscribe to. So kindly hit that subscription button and then let's increase the community, and also hit the notification or the bell button as you are going to be notified on all the subsequent videos that I will be uploading. So back to the topic for today. So what is the DS-160 form? Now, it is an online non-immigrant visa application form used by the United States. So if you are planning to visit the US temporarily, whether for tourism, visiting family members, or a short business trips, this form is mandatory for you. And then think of the DS-160 as your official introduction to the US Embassy. So before you ever step into the interview room, the visa officer already knows you through these forms that you've filled already. Right. So why is the DS-160 mandatory for tourists? So without a completed DS-160 form, you cannot pay the visa fee, you cannot schedule a visa interview, and you will not be interviewed. So this makes the DS-160 very, very important and then mandatory with regards to your visa application process. So before we begin the DS-160 form, let's understand between B1 and B2, which is a tourism visa. So B1 is our business related travel for a short period, and then its intent is for those going for meetings, conferences, and negotiations, whereas the B2 visa category is also for tourism purposes, visiting family or friends, medical treatment, or holidays. So most applicants apply for B1 or B2 combined visa, which allows both purposes, right? So now, who needs to fill the DS-160 form? So every applicant, including adults, children, infants, yes, even babies, need the DS-160 form to fill. So before we start to fill the DS-160, first of all, we need to prepare some documents. So preparing this document is gonna save you time and prevent mistakes. So first on the list is your passport. Your passport should be valid for more than 6 months, and then your passport number, date of issued and expiry should contain such informations, and then also your travel accommodation details. So your intended travel date, your US travel address or host or hotel informations, your travel purpose. You should have all these documents ready. And then also we have technical requirements for the DS-160, which is a stable internet connection. You are going to need a desktop or a laptop. You can use your phone to do it, but on the safer side, it is recommended to use a computer or a laptop to do this application. And then also you should have a passport picture in the JPEG format, right? And then also you have to be very fast and do the application within the space of 20 minutes, as after the 20 minutes per session it is going to be timed out, right? So now let's go to my screen and then let me walk you through the step-by-step on how to go about the filling of the DS160 form. All right, so welcome to my screen. So first of all, what I'm going to do is, or what we are going to do is, since I'm doing it with you, we are going to type ceac.state.gov, right? So then we hit enter. So travel.state.gov is the official website of the US Embassy, and so CEAC is a counselor where we can get access to all the visa forms in order to travel to the United States of America. So once we are here, we are going to hit select DS160. So you could see that we have non-immigrant and then we have immigrant over here. So let's hit enter, or let's click on the DS. Yeah, so we have the immigrant categories visas here, and then we have the non-immigrant. So let's select DS160 online non-immigrant visa application. Okay, so once we are here, what we are going to do is he said apply for a non-immigrant visa. So first of all, we will come here and then select a location where we are doing the application from. So this is the applicant's country, or where the applicant is a resident of. So let me select Ghana here, and then we are going to enter the captcha code. We are going to enter the captcha code that has been given. So this is the captcha code. This is the captcha code. Now, before I enter the captcha code, you could see that we have start an application here, and then we have retrieve an application. So what this side means is that if we enter the captcha code and then we are starting an application, then you will just click start an application. For those of you who are starting it or using this form for the first time, and then also for those of you who have done an application before and would like to retrieve the previous application, this is where you are going to click, and then you type your identity or the code, the identification number that was generated for you after you did the completion of the DS160. So let me go back and then type the captcha code over here. So it is case sensitive, so where is caps, you make sure you do it as you see it. And then what we do next is we click on start application. Okay, so once you are here, you are going to agree to this. It says that Computer Fraud and Abuse Act for site manager, and information is collected for statistical purposes and blah 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 and so on. So what you are going to do is you are going to agree. Click on agree. Okay, so now this is your application ID, right? So always make sure that this ID that has been given to you here will be either you are going to copy this ID number somewhere, or you are going to click on this side to print it, and then you save it on your computer, so that if you are doing your application and you couldn't complete and you want to continue, you are going to need this ID in order to retrieve an existing application or retrieve an application that has been submitted. So as we've gotten information about it, the next thing that we are going to do is they are going to ask you some security questions, right? So this security question, there are multiple of them. So you come in there and you say, what is the given name of your mother's mother? What is the name given to your father's father? What is your maternal grandmother? So all these informations are security questions that you personally know, that nobody can guess and say it. So make sure that you select the one that you are familiar with, or the one that you can easily guess, and then have it off head all the time. Okay, so once we are here, we are going to type an answer. So let me put an answer here, and then we hit continue. Okay, so after I hit continue, you could see that the form has been generated, right? The form has been generated, and then I have my application ID number also over here, right? So it's in these sections. We have the personal information section, which is in 2 sections. So first of all, what we are going to do is we come to surname first, then we come to giving names, we come to if you have a native alphabet for your name, you are going to select. If you don't, also you are going to click this side, and then we proceed. So it says, have you ever used other names? Then you said if yes, then you specify. If no, then you specify, and then you keep going. And then it says, do you have a telecode that represents your name? If no, you select no. If yes, then we come to the gender side, which is you are going to select. If you are a male, you select male. If you are female, you select. And then you come to the marital status. If you are single, you select single. If you are married, also you select. If you are divorced, you select that one also. And then the next thing that we are coming to do is our date of birth. So the format is always day here, month here, and then the year also here. So this is the rightful format that is supposed to be used. And then we also have the city of birth, where you were born, and then all these informations are in your passport. So you make sure that it correlates, or it corresponds with the information that you have in your documents, right? Okay, so after giving the city here, then you give the state or province that the state can be found, or the city can be found in. And then over here you come and then select your country, right? Then we keep proceeding. So right after you are done with this, then you hit next, and then you are going to be directed to the next side. Mind you, if any of the informations you didn't write, or you skip any of the form, you are not going to be allowed to proceed further to the next phase of it. So it's in this order, right? So let me see if I can get a PDF of it, since I'm not doing this application. DS160, so I can demonstrate it to you properly. Okay, I have this. So as I said earlier, you have to do everything possible to finish the application within 30 to 45 minutes. And then if the machine or the phone becomes idle for 20 minutes, the session will be timed out, right? So let me bring the image to this side. Okay, good. Okay, so the personal information side, I think I've taken you through the personal information first side. So let's go to the next. So once we click on this next, we will be taken to the next phase of it, which is the personal information too. So over here, you are going to select the country of origin where you are from. So there are a list of countries that you can find yours in, so you select according to your case. And then they say, do you hold or have held any other nationality other than your country? If yes, then you are going to select this one, and then you select the country that you hold a nationality other than your other country. And it says that you hold a passport for other country. If yes, also you specify, and then you provide the passport number also here. And then it says that, are you a permanent resident of a country or region other than your country? If yes, also you specify. If not, you select no. And then if you have national identification number, you are going to write it here. If you don't have it and it does not apply, you select this one. So it says that a US social security number, if you have it, you are going to write them here and here. If not, also select this one and then keep moving. US taxpayer ID number, if you have it, you type it here. If you don't, select this one and then we proceed. So the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to hit next, and then we will proceed to the next phase of it. So the next phase of it is travel information. So if the applicant has traveled before or has travel experiences, this is where we are going to have it. And then the purpose for which the applicant is traveling also. So he said, provide information concerning your travel plan. So he said, please provide the following information. Purpose of your travel to the US. If it's tourism, you are going to select tourism, and then visa class. So I explained that earlier. We have the B1 and B2. Depending on your case, you are going to select it. Since I'm not using the form and I wanted you to have an idea on. So once I feel I will be taken to the next phase of it, and because I've not inputted any information here, that is why I'm not getting access to. So I'll be asked to provide information for this and that. Okay, so we select the class. If it's B1, you select it. If it's B2, you select it. You can also select both, and then all are for tourism purposes depending on your case. Okay, and so they are asking if you've ever made a specific travel plan. That is, if you have a date of that you are traveling, you have a specific date that you are supposed to arrive in the US, you are going to write it over here. It follows in the day, month, year. If you know the flight that you are traveling with, you provide. If unknown to you, leave it. And then the arrival city. This is the entry point that you will be first arriving in the US. For instance, the JFK, John F. Kennedy Airport. If that is where you are arriving, then you specify. If other airports also, the arrival city, this one is in New York, so you specify. If not also, then you proceed to the next phase of it. And then date of departure, that is if you have a date that you are leaving US also, you provide those information here, and then departure city, where the same route that you came, if you'll be averting or you'll be using a different route, or so you specify. So this is it. Now over here, the next thing is address, where you will stay in the US. So you provide the address, first address, second line, the city where you are visiting, then the state, and then the zip code. So mostly all these addresses, the information, the zip code, city, all are in the host letter or the invitation documents that you are going to get. So you make sure you go through your invitation document, so you have all these informations, or your hotel bookings, right? And so over here it says the entity paying for your trip. If you are if you are sponsoring that, you are funding this trip by yourself, you specify. If it's other person, then you also select other person. Then you provide the name of the person, surname of the person, giving names, the person's phone number, email address, the relationship to you, if the person is your employer, is your brother, uncle, blah blah blah. Then you spell it out over here. And then is the address of the party paying for your trip the same as yours? If the person's address is the same as yours, you indicate. If not, also you provide the person's address over here. And then you are going to hit next, which is your travel companion. So with the travel companion is if you are traveling with your wife or any other person, then you specify. So provide the following purpose of the trip. So I stated earlier that if it's for negotiations, meeting, and so on, that one is B2. But if it regards to family visit, to all other tourism purposes, that one is B2. However, you can also select, but in this case you must go according to the invitation document or the purpose for which you are traveling. Okay, so is it, have you made specific travel plans? Yeah, then you specify, and then you provide the date here, and then your intended length of stay in the US, that is how long you intend to stay in the US or so. If it's 1 month, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 5 days, you also spell it out here. And then entity paying for your trip. If it's an organization, then this is what you are supposed to put: the name of the company or organization paying for your trip, their phone number, relationship to you, address, and so on and so forth. So this is the next phase of it. Then we click next, we go to the travel companion side. So, and then also we have the business category, that is if it's business, temporary business pleasure, then you are going to select one of them, which is there. So I've spelled out all these informations already to you. So now the next thing that we are going to do is, I don't want this thing to be idle for more than 20 minutes. So okay. So it's pretty simple. So this one is for those that governments have been sponsoring. So depending on the one that you are going to select, this case will then apply to you. So because I'm using the PDF version, that is why it has given me all these multiple options. Okay, so we are going to the travel companion. Okay, so that travel companion is if you are traveling with someone. So persons traveling with you, are there other persons traveling with you? If yes, you select yes. If no, you select no. Are you traveling as part of a group or organization? If yes, you select yes. If no, then you select no. So he said I enter persons traveling with you. So you are going to give out their name, their surname, relationship with you, and then you select next. And then the next phase of it is previous US travel information. That is, if you've ever been in the US before, you are going to provide those information. So date that you arrived, how long you stayed, did you ever hold a US driver's license? If yes, you specify. If no, you select no. So if you selected yes, you are going to provide the driver's license number. Have you ever been issued a US visa? If yes, you specify. If no, also. So last time it was issued, visa number, and yeah, that is that. And then, has your US visa ever been lost or stolen? If any of the case applies to you, then you specify, you give the year, and then you explain how it happened. And then, has your US visa ever been cancelled or revoked? If yes, you are going to explain how the incident have happened. And then, have you ever been refused a US visa or been refused admission to the US or withdrawn your application for admission at the port of entry? If that is the case, you specify, and then you give out the reason why that incident happened, and then you click on next, and then you are going to be directed to the address and then phone, right? So over here you provide your home address, street address, city where you live, your zip code. If it's different from your mailing address also, you specify, and then you provide your primary phone number, secondary phone number. So then we go to the next. Have you ever used any other phone numbers in the last 5 years? If yes, you specify. If not, also you specify. And then your email address. If you've ever used other email addresses in the last 5 years or so, you are going to provide an alternate email address. And then social media identifiers. So if you are someone who uses social media actively, then the one that you mostly use is what they are going to, for instance, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, MySpace, Pinterest, Twitter. The ones that you mostly use are what they are going to, ask for, so they can check your personality and know the kind of person they are giving the visa to, right? Then we go to next, which is the passport section. So we've done this side already. Okay, so over here we are going to select the passport type. If it's diplomatic passport, you specify. If it's ordinary passport, you specify. And so we come to the passport number. You are going to provide your passport number here, or the book number. So if you are using a passport, as most of us use a passport, you are going to provide the passport number here, and then passport book number. You are going to click does not apply. Then we come to country or issuing authority, then which you select your country over here. Then city where the passport was issued will be at this side, which can be found in the passport booklet. And then the state where it was given, the country, and then date it was issued also here, and then date of expiry also here. So if you've ever held a passport which has been lost or damaged or stolen, you are going to select yes, and then you provide the passport number if you know. If you don't, also you click on do not know. Then you come to issuing authority where it was issued, and then we proceed to the US contact information. So all these informations are pretty simple, and So the contact information is the person or the host that you are going to stay with. So you provide the contact person or the organization in the US. So if it's a hotel, you provide the name of the hotel over here, or the one in charge of your bookings. You provide their name here, and then you provide the name of the hotel also here. Then relationship, if he's your friend or he's your host, you select host, and then you provide the full address over here, and then you provide their email address and phone number. Then you save and continue. And then over here we are coming to information about your relatives. So over here you provide the full name and date of birth of your father, right? You provide that. If you don't know their date of birth, you select do not know. If your father is still alive, you select yes. If not, you select no. And then you provide their address, and then you proceed. And then the same applies to your mother. And then, do you have any immediate relatives not including parents who are US citizens? If yes, you specify. If not, you select no. If you know, you provide their names, relationship to you, and then their status in the US. If they are citizens, you provide. Then we head on to the next, which is the fiancé or the fiancée section. Or the spouse, as I may put it. Okay, so over here you provide the name of your spouse, their full name, their date of birth, nationality, city of birth, so on and so forth, the address, phone number, and then you proceed next, and then the same thing, partner's full name, the address, and so on and so forth. Okay, so over here also we have the family information for former spouses. If you've ever had a former spouse before you got married, and then along the line you got divorced, you can also provide those informations, and then their full name, date of birth, date of marriage, date that the marriage ended, or date of divorce, how the marriage ended. You explain everything, then we proceed. So if you have a spouse that is deceased also, you provide those informations. And so it's in that order, and that order, and that order. So all these informations are informations that pertains to you, the applicant. And yeah. So once you are done, you come to as you are done with the family side, you come to work and education. So over here the applicant is going to provide their educational background, work background, and then over here also, if you have children, you are going to provide their names, their date of birth, where they were born, where they live, if they are with you, if they are traveling with you also, you are going to specify. If not also, then you proceed. So it says your primary occupation, the work that you do, you are going to provide information on that, and then provide the name of your employer or school if you're a student, address, and their phone number, date that you started, and monthly income in local currency. Briefly describe your duties, what you what role you play at your work, and then so on and so forth. So they are simple as that. Very simple as that. Yeah. And then you provide information on your previous work, your previous employer's details, their full name, their location, phone number, job title, supervisor's name, supervisor's given name, date of employment, date that you ended, and then the role that you carried out over there. So it's in that order. Very, very simple. And then you provide your educational background as well. And then you provide information about your tribe. So the name of your clan or your tribe. Every culture has a tribe or clan that they belong to. So you provide it, and then list of languages that you speak. You are going to list them one after the other. And if in the past 5 years you've traveled to any other countries, you are going to select yes, and then you provide a list of countries that you've visited and where you've resided in the last 5 years. So these are security questions that you are supposed to, follow it in that order. Have you, or do you have any special skill or training such as firearm? If yes, you specify. If no, you specify. Have you ever served in the military? If no, so all these are security questions. If you ever served or been a member or involved in a paramilitary unit, vigilante unit, and so on, you are going to specify. If you have, so the security and background are in two parts. We have the first part. It says, do you have a communicable disease that may affect others? If yes, you explain it. If no, also you select no. Do you have any mental disorder? If yes, you select it. If no, please be truthful to yourself, and then be very honest in giving out these answers. If any of them applies to you, just specify. And then are you or have you ever been a drug abuse or addict? If yes, explain. If no, you specify. Do you have documentations to establish that you have received vaccination in accordance with US law? If you have vaccinations records, then you have to specify. So then the next phase of it is so it's in that order. So right after you are done with it, let me bring. Okay, so once you are done at the latter part of it, what you are going to do is over here, you are going to upload your photo. This side, you click that side, you'll be proceeded to that side where you can upload your passport photo according to the US specifications. Mostly is about 600 by 600 pixels. And then once you upload it, and then you proceed, you are going to have access to all the information that you've provided with the review section of it. And then later on you are going to sign. So once you sign by providing your full name to it to complete the document or to submit the document. So right after you are done, you are going to generate, or you are going to be given a printout of it so that you can present it along with other documents, and then book an appointment after paying your visa fee, and then you attend your interview at the consular or the embassy in your home country or where you want to attend your appointment. So this is how to go about the DS-160 form. So just in case that, okay, so let me teach you something here, something very important. So let's assume that along the line you couldn't So let's assume that as you were filling this form, you couldn't complete it, and then you want to go and then come back later on. Every phase that you get to, it is going to be saved naturally, provided you are able to complete it. So what you do is that, let me go to the home page again. Okay, so on the home page, when I come to the home page and I click on DS160 online non-immigrant application form, and I come here, let me select GH. Okay. And so let me type the captcha 3BNCU. Okay. So I'm going to click on retrieve an application, right? So I'll click, instead of selecting start an application, I'll click on retrieve an application. Okay, so they are requesting for my application ID. So from what I told you earlier, I'm going to paste it here, and then I'll click on retrieve an application. So you see that they are requesting for the first 5 letters of your surname, year of birth, and then what is the given name of your mother's mother. So the information is that you provided, that is what we are going to provide here, and then finally we click on retrieve application, and then our application is going to be approved. So it is pretty simple. All right, so that is how to fill the DS160 form. So after submitting the DS160, what you are going to do is you are going to pay for the MRV visa fee according to the embassy's instruction. And then the next thing that you are supposed to do is you are going to schedule the visa interview. And before you can do that, you are going to use the DS160 confirmation number and the payment fee receipt to do the booking on the website or the home countries of the US Embassy's website that you are going to attend your interview. Right, so let's look at some of the common DS160 form filling mistakes. So mostly inconsistent information, mismatch between the DS160 and interview answers is a red flag, right? So all the information that you are going to fill in the DS160 is basically what the counselor is going to use to interview you. So you make sure that you go according to the information that you've given according to the DS160 form. And then also some mistakes that we are going to look at is typographical errors. For instance, small typos can cause big problems. For instance, you made omissions in your name, the spelling mistakes. Those typos can cause you a big problem, as you can get the entire application rejected. And then also wrong visa category. So with the DS160 is connected to the B1 B2 for tourism visa, and so that is basically what you should always select when you are dealing with the DS160 form, right? So let's look at some of the tips to increase approval chances. Be honest and accurate. Your truth is your strongest defense. And then also match DS160 answers with interview responses. So consistency equals credibility. As the consistency, how consistent you are with the answers with regards to your DS160 is what is going to convince the counselor to have your visa approved, right? So the DS-160 form is more than just an application. It's your story. So when filled correctly, it speaks clearly and confidently on your behalf. So make sure you always take your time, stay honest, and double check every detail. With the right approach, DS-160 form filling for a tourist visa becomes less stressful and far more successful. So let's look at some of the frequently asked questions. And they say that, can I edit the DS-160 after submission? No. So you must fill a new form if corrections are needed, right? So you can always fill a new application when you feel like you made mistake with the previous one that you did. And then how long does it take to fill the DS? So usually you shouldn't spend more than 40 to 90 minutes if you have all your documents ready with you. It's something that you can do in less than 30 minutes, right? And is the DS-160 free? Yes, but visa fees are paid separately. So filling out the DS-160, that one is free. You can access it multiple times on the website. However, the visa fees are supposed to be paid separately. And then, can someone help me fill the DS-160? Yes, but you are responsible for all the information that the person will be typing, and so you make sure you give the person the rightful informations, as that is what you are going to answer on the day of your interview. And then, does filling DS-160 guarantee visa approval? No, but the correct DS-160 improves your chances significantly. So this brings us to the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you are impressed with the video, kindly give me a like, subscribe to the channel, and then also share to reach a larger audience. Mind you, hit the bell notification button, as you are going to be notified on all my latest videos I will be uploading. The channel has been adeja.com. Peace out.